Know what that sound is? That's the sound of brand suicide. Terrible marketing in a meltdown. How do you avoid it? What is this? We'll talk about both. This is Brand Hibernation. Thanks for watching. There will be less brands when this is over than when the worst part of this began. And whether or not you're one of the ones that survives or doesn't depends on what you do now. Brand hibernation is the only viable strategy that we can think of that will help large businesses and small survive this. Some, more than survive it, actually prosper from it. We'll explain the details in this second episode, and then we'll apply them in future live streams. And most importantly, in answering questions that you send in. Please do send us your questions. If you're in marketing, you're running a small business, if you're an internal marketer, if you're a CEO or CFO with questions about your brand, we want to hear from you. We'll answer your questions free of charge for now, until further notice. That's our brand. So, apropos of our setting, I thought it would be a good time to take a look at the car companies. Car companies are always the first ones to take a hit. They're usually the last ones to come back. They've got a lot of experience in weathering storms and messaging during storms. And some of them, well, we won't prejudge. We'll get to it shortly. It was 1918, and the world was going through a very similar pandemic as we are now. And advertisers were going through the same pandemic. When I did research for this program, it was almost impossible to find a major brand that associated their marketing, their advertising materials, with the pandemic. Not one. Not Coke, not Buick, all of the major advertisers of that time, Wrigley's, none of them associated their brand with the pandemic itself. There are lessons to be learned. So let's start with one of my least favorite brands, and that's Audi. And they didn't let me down. No. They didn't let me down at all. Here's what Audi is saying right now to their customers. At least it says it's a message to their customers, so I'm going to take it on face value. And then in the smallest possible type you could put on the internet, they say the coronavirus, parenthesis COVID-19, because that's Audi for you, is presenting all of us with an unprecedented challenge. As we continue working closely with our dealers and Audi Financial Services, we want our customers to know we are here to offer the support you need. It says nothing. It's jive. It's copy. Let's move on, because I'll just pick on them for half an hour. I don't want to do that. Let's go to Subaru, a brand that I typically love. I like the product and I love their marketing, and they're really a unique brand in the best of times. I mean, they really are a unique brand. And in this particular case, they let me down. In this particular case, Subaru says they're rising to the challenge with us. So they're using the word together, something I want you to keep in your mind, together. They're rising to the challenge. Here's their response to COVID-19. Now, why did they have to give me 2 lines before they got into any specifics? Or did they get into specifics? Let's see. As the COVID-19 situation develops, you can count on Subaru and our retailers to help keep you and your vehicle protected and prepared. Is this not exactly what Audi said? It is. Let's now go to Honda, another brand that deserves a lot of props. Great tagline, the power of dreams. Little jivey, but It's okay. And what's Honda's message? We'll get through this together. Now, wait a minute. I told you to keep the word together in mind for a reason. Because not only is it being used by Subaru, and to some degree Audi, but here it is again in the headline with Honda. We'll get through this together. Subaru just said we're rising to the challenge together. Honda says we'll get through this together. It's identical. COVID-19 is affecting our customers and communities. Honda is there to help. They're just shoehorning copy into their existing brand. And it looks it, doesn't it? And that's shocking for a car company. If you know anything about car company marketing departments, you would find this even more shocking. Because there's layer after layer after layer of marketing management and half a floor full of creative people and generally an agency or two or three. And this is the best they could come up with. Or, to be fair to all the creative people, this is the best that management would sign off on. Together. BMW. Like Audi, one of my least favorite brands in normal times. But let's not be harsh yet. Let's see what they're doing. So BMW is saying, oh, wait a minute, together. Remember I told you to keep together in your head, right? Because there was a reason why. Together we can help flatten the curve. That's a pretty appalling message because they can't. So, together we can help is BMW. We'll get through this together. Honda. Rising to the challenge together. Subaru. Let's move on. Whoa. We've got your back. We've. That's kind of like together, but they don't use the word. They've got your back. They're not talking about safety. They're not talking about rising to a challenge that's never defined. They're not saying their dealers are doing business slightly differently. They're not Audi. They're not Subaru. They're not BMW. They've got your back. Now, wait a minute. This could be a big disappointment. It could be just rhetoric, but as it turns out, it's not. Hyundai Assurance will cover your payments for up to 6 months if you lose your job. Bang. I didn't have to hit learn more. I didn't have to read through copy that left me hanging with no way to take action. They put it out there. They're serious. They know there's a problem. They are giving me a solution. They are giving me their best. Hyundai Assurance will cover your payments for up to 6 months. They'll also defer payments for 4 months on select vehicles. Go buy a vehicle, they'll defer the payments for 4 months. This is brand hibernation at its best. Putting away the sales pitch, putting away the product features, putting away the typical brand voice, and suiting up for the occasion. So, because of that, Hyundai gets the N95 brand reputation seal of approval. They're the only ones that we looked at today that do. So far. But we have one of my favorite brands coming up in about 60 seconds. Don't go away. So I didn't want to end today's episode without addressing one of my personal hero brands, and maybe yours as well, and that is Cadillac. Cadillac was the worldwide symbol of excellence, the best. The best you could get. In fact, it was so good it was used as a metaphor. I mean, people would say it's the Cadillac of shoes or the Cadillac of rice or whatever. It was a Cadillac. And here's a perfect example. This 1957 Eldorado Biarritz was so technologically advanced, so luxurious, so exclusive, that it sold for the same price as a Rolls-Royce sedan that year. The mighty have fallen. Cadillac has fallen. But how are they handling this particular crisis? Let's take a look. Well, just like Hyundai, Cadillac has my back. And just like everyone, Cadillac says we're all in this together. So, is it time to slap an N95 sticker on Cadillac's campaign? After all, it's pretty much the same as Hyundai's. Or is it? And unfortunately, it isn't, because Cadillac ends as it started with, we've got your back and we're all in this together, and that's it. Subsequent pages get no better. We're now back to business as usual branding, no brand hibernation whatsoever, no offers, no incentives, no alignment, no engagement. They're just selling cars. So we have your back, we're all in this together, is rhetoric. Meaningless. Nobody can take action. We don't know what action we can take, so we're not going to take it. You see the difference. Same headline. No follow-through. We're all in this together. Trivial. Everybody's using it. But we've got your back. Good start. Goes nowhere. It's a matter of trust.